maintaining an airplane is a lot different than maintaining a car. It's a lot more complicated, there's a lot more paperwork involved, and a lot more requirements. You know, there's no requirement that you have to take your car into the mechanic every so often, and with airplanes, that is the case. Let me explain what's going on. So I fly an 80-year-old airplane. It's a 1943 Aeronca Champ, and you know, it's definitely some old technology. It's made out of fabric. You know, it's got wood and steel. A steel frame with wood formers and things like that, and you know, it's made out of fabric. It's an old airplane. It's kind of a lawnmower in the sky, honestly. It doesn't get much smaller than this, other than maybe ultralights or like you know, some, you know, paramotor like Tucker Gott flies, which is freaking awesome. I really want to learn how to fly paramotors because I think that would be the coolest thing ever. I mean, if you want to feel like flying, like there's not much else that tops that. The annual inspection on the airplane is getting done, which is a requirement that every year you have to have an annual inspection by an aircraft mechanic, and you know, they inspect all different things about the airplane. You re-grease bearings, and it's basically like a really big tune-up and checkup. And if there's things that are found wrong, then you know, you have to pull your wallet out and get them repaired. So anyway, the annual inspection was getting done on the airplane. And it was noticed that some of our wood formers or bulkheads in the back of the airplane are cracked. Now, it's interesting. These they would be bulkheads, but in this airplane, don't really serve the purpose as normal bulkheads. I'm very unexperienced. I'm not a mechanic or anything like that. Basically, what they do is they help form the fabric on the outside of the airplane, so they hold these stringers that go across and form that shape of the tail for the fabric. And they also seem to hold apart the steel framing in the airplane so that over time, or maybe on hard landings, it doesn't crush and sag and you know, deform. So these wood formers, or you know, bulkheads in the back of the airplane, help keep the form of the frame. So anyway, it was noticed that these were cracked and they had been patched before. I'll show some videos and some photos up of them so you can see. And a hole was cut. A hole was cut in the fabric so that they wouldn't have to like crawl inside to work on it. We really want to avoid cutting into this fabric, especially because this fabric's kind of old. It was you know, it was fabricked quite a long time ago, and you know, the fabric still holds good. It passes its annual check, but it just doesn't look that great, if I'm honest. And the last thing I want is more patches in it because there's plenty of them already. Somebody's gonna have to crawl into the tail of a really tiny airplane and fix these bulkheads. Luckily, though, they were available. So with airplane parts, especially when you're working, it's just like working on an old car, right? If you're working on like a '69 Mustang, trying to might not for that, well, actually Mustangs might not be that hard. But if you're working on like a very you know, a more rare vehicle that's older, it's gonna be hard to find parts for it, right? They don't make them that much anymore because there's not that many of them out on the road. Same thing with this old airplane. I mean, it's an 80-year-old airplane. Parts aren't exactly plentiful, you know what I mean? And so luckily these were available, so we were able to buy them, and they're gonna get replaced. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to make a video about it because, you know, what's interesting and what I was thinking about doing is actually ordering a full another set of them and keeping them, you know, storing them with the airplane, assuming that we can store them in a way that they won't rot with lacquer on them or something. Because you never know, these parts might not be available in the future, and you know, these might go bad again. Now, this isn't something that's going to like, you know, make you crash and die or anything. You know, so if I was out flying around, obviously if I found these, I would, you know, the airplane would be grounded and I couldn't go fly it, just for legality reasons and things like that. But if I was flying around and I looked back and saw those broken, I wouldn't be very freaked out because it's not like they really serve a function of keeping the airplane together. It's more of, at least from looking at it, it's more to like keep the frame of the airplane in the right position. So it's not like flying around with it for a couple of flights is going to like ruin anything. But obviously I wouldn't fly if I knew that was happening, and it is happening, so we can't fly. So you know, annual inspection's taking a little bit longer, but once it's done, I will go out flying again, and I really can't wait. The thing's so much fun to fly. Again, with airplanes, there's all sorts of requirements, and I could go into the nitty-gritty of different types of inspections and requirements that airplanes have to have. But honestly, it's kind of boring, and you don't want to see that. I don't think you want to see that. If you want to see that, you know, let me know. But I'm assuming you don't want to see that because I don't want to see that. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or want to see anything else, I don't know. I just thought it was a fun topic to make a video on because this kind of stuff doesn't happen every day. and it made me really sad. Oh, it's called the Bugsmasher, by the way, if you didn't know. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you have any other questions about aircraft maintenance or anything like that, or just anything in general, yeah, leave them down in the comments below, and check out some of my other videos. There's some fun stuff. So anyway, see you later.